Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Elise. Tell me how to pronounce your name. Elisa?
Alisa.
Elisa. All right, good. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Elisa. Hi, Robert.
Hello, good morning.
All right, so generally what happens is people join this call from Mark's 9:30 call. So let's give people a few minutes to join. So hang on. Let's see.
How many people are on?
Stan, they're joining now.
16.
So Jenna, have a seat. Let's.
Morning, everyone.
All right, so we have a slow start this morning, but there are 5 people on the call. Janet, meet Elisa, Stan, and Robert.
Morning.
Good morning, guys. Welcome.
So,
So is it pronounced Elisa or Alicia?
Alisa.
Lisa, welcome.
Thank you.
Stan, where's Stan?
Stan.
Hey, Stan, welcome. And Robert Jackson. Robert, can we see you, please? We don't like black screens.
Yes.
There you go. Not allowed.
Good morning.
Nice try.
All right, we got Alejandro. Hey,
Alejandro, click yourself in there, please.
Good morning, guys. Give me 1 second, okay?
Yep.
So we should be having a lot more people on this phone call, so we will see as they join in.
Okay. So guys, welcome. You guys have received everything that we started with the first and the second groups. And you have in front of you the most important documents that you need to work on, which is videos to review and learn how to do a GPS and a 411, right?
Right.
So let me just tell you guys a little bit about how we got started in the business. The time blocking is critical. When I started 10 years ago, I time blocked for 3 hours a day and I cold called. And before I did that, I created an Excel spreadsheet with all the people I know, emails and phone numbers, and I sent out a newsletter. And I've been doing that for 10 years, on the 15th of the month and the 30th. So tomorrow you'll get your first newsletter. And you'll send it out to your database through command. So, I'm not going to get into if you're up and running in command yet. That was part of one of the things you needed to set up to join today. I want to focus more on your time blocking and how you build a business. So what everybody should really be looking at on a daily basis, and hopefully you already have, are the 2 books that we still look at today, which is the Red Book, the MREA book, and the One Thing. And it's never too, you can't go over that stuff too often. It's a rinse and repeat, a rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Even the people that are in the program and have been in the program, you're going after appointments. You're going after appointments for either a seller or a buyer. And we're going to start tracking that once you learn the fundamentals of the business. But there comes a time when, you know, I fell off course a couple times along the way because I got too busy and I stayed away from my time blocking. I never do that now. And we have a very strong, healthy business. Do you want to jump in on anything?
No, when you're done, I might share a screen and just talk about what we circulated on for the
Yeah,
first time.
why don't we start that now?
Okay.
Do that now and then I can get back into it.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to share our screen with you guys just so that we can walk through what we circulated yesterday for the first class and the first assets. So let me just get to. So we sent out first 30 days. So this anybody who joins the program, whatever month you joined, they get this email. And we just thought it was helpful for you to have the time to take the time on your own calendars to set this stuff, to be able to go through this stuff and learn it. So that you would have a background because your first steps for us is to do your GPS and your 411. So your GPS is your goals, priorities, and strategies, or Keller Williams also calls them your 135, but you have 1 goal, 3 priorities, and 5 strategies. And this Google video will talk to you about starting that. And I guess what we'd like all of you just to know, there's no right or wrong answer in any of this. You know, it's a place to start a dialogue with each of you so that we can get to know you and get to know what your background is, where you're coming from, how much business you've done, if any, to date, and to help you set yourself up so that you have a plan going forward. So the GPS and the 411 dovetail into each other. And you start with your GPS and then your 411. And then once you meet with me or Janet, whoever, or could be both of us, we will help you refine or get those into a place that it will work for you going forward. Because the 411 is basically your to-do list. When Janet talks about time blocking, I'm going to just open it up. It's so that you know what you need to concentrate on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, so that by the end of the year, you get to your goal, and your goal is completely up to you. But from our perspective, our goal for you is to get you to be cappers. And a capper means that you have made, we round the number up, but basically $170,000 in gross commission income for a year. You have paid Keller Williams the $50,000 plus $6,000, which is your cap plus your franchise fee, and then any gross commission income you make over that, you get to keep 100% of.
All right, so let me jump in here.
Yeah.
So guys, let's keep this up on the screen because I want to help you get started. So the way to look at this is you're going to list 1 to 5 things in your annual goals. And the very first one I want you all to write down is $170,000 for a year. That is a capper. The sales volume for a capper is $6 million, which essentially is GCI of 167,000. We round it to 170. Okay. The second thing you're going to write down on your annual goals: how many people are in my database right now? The third thing you're going to write down is how many do I want to add in 1 year? And that number will be different, right? Because everybody's number of who's in the database is different. But your business is going to grow because your database is going to grow. The fourth thing I want you to write in annual goals is send 24 newsletters for the year. So those are the 4 basic things I always have everybody start with. Monthly goals. You're going to take each one of the things in the annual and divide it by 12. So, for instance, your monthly cap, you're working toward your annual goals, but the 411 breaks it down so that you know what you need to do on a weekly and daily basis. So 170 cap is, you got to make $14,000 a month. For numbers 2 and 3, divide it by 12. And for number 4, you're sending out 2 newsletters a month that I give you. Susan and I write them. We give them to you. You brand it to yourself. Now, people that joined the program in July, tomorrow is their 5th newsletter. For you, it's your first. So don't get crazy. Just send out what each one of you should do. Of the 4 people that are new, has anyone sent out a notice to your database saying you are now a real estate agent at Keller Williams? Guys?
No.
Has anyone?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So you need to put a brief preamble paragraph in this newsletter that says something like, "Dear friends, I'm so happy to announce that I am now a real estate agent at Keller Williams. Informing my clients of what's going on in the market is vital. Here's my first newsletter." And the content comes from us. And believe me, the content is worked on for hours and hours. We work with a lot of people. We listen to a lot of podcasts. And we talk to a lot of people that run numbers in real estate to make sure that everybody's aware of what happens. Every newsletter flows into the next, right? So we're in a pandemic and we've got a ton of inventory. We try to break down what that means for people every 2 weeks, whether they're interested in real estate or they're considering a buy or a sell. You've got to read these newsletters and absorb them. Because if you get on the phone with people and they ask you questions about it, you need to be clear how to answer them. That's what makes you an advisor. The other thing that's important to mention is you were asked to make sure that your headshot is on your webpage, that your bios are on your webpage, because what happens when you start sending information to clients, they start clicking on you. They're going to go to your website and they're going to see if your photo, they're going to see your website. Your photo must be there and your bio must be there in order for you to look like a professional. So that's why those criterions, those critical criterion points are handed out in advance of joining, because we need you to look really good. So then we take the monthly numbers and we go down to the weekly section, and you divide everything by 4. So that's as much as I'm going to do with you as on a group. When you guys listen to the videos and fill out your GPS guides you to the 411. You need to think of your 411 as your daily action sheet. In order to get into production, you have to be in action. And that means touching and talking to people in your database. So another thing I want to talk about is Susan and I distribute leads to people. We do Facebook leads, we do Facebook advertisements off of our listings. The leads come in and we distribute them. And you guys will be getting leads. People in the program, we've distributed over what?
500.
Over 500 leads in 60 days so far. I wish I had that when I joined the program, because I was a cold caller. You're not allowed to cold call right now until I think October 20th, Fanny said.
Right, until Cuomo has us in a state of emergency still because of COVID, and until he announces that we're out of that, there's no cold calling.
Right. So, again, I think it's really important to spend time with the links we gave you. The most important one, and I say this to every group, is time blocking. As independent contractors, there's a lot being thrown at us. We're trying to bring structure into your life, because you will get frustrated if you don't have structure. And the time blocking is, I'll tell you what mine looked like. I time blocked every day for 2 to 3 hours. And sometimes it was in the morning and sometimes it was in the afternoon, depending on what was going on. And I made sure that I had 20 conversations per day. And today I have a referral business. But the referral business started 5 years ago. So it took 5 years of reaching out to people. We were still making money and doing well and beyond capping. But our first year at Keller Williams, it took 10 months to cap. Our second year, it took 5 months to cap. And our third year, we were capping in 2 months. So the rest of the year, we were 100% commission. That's why we like Keller Williams, because of the business model. All the other firms take 30, you have to be at a high level of production to be graced with only giving away 30%. Most people give away 50, most people keep 55%, give away 45. It is, these deals are too hard. The business is hard, and it gets easier when you spend the time and train yourself to time block, right?
Right. So I just want to make sure, look, one of your biggest tools that Keller offers, which so I guess let's give you a little bit of background about me and Janet. Janet joined the business in 2010. I joined her in 2013. we are a married couple, business partners, and we both came from Wall Street careers. So if you're trying to find one or the other of us, we're together a lot. So we are here for you, and we are here to be your resource. So I just wanted you to know that. Then the other thing is, for as it relates to Command, what you really want to do is get familiar with Command. And I know that we've got people at different levels who, some of you have been at Keller Williams for a while, some of you are brand new to the business, but for the stuff that I included in our newsletter, this Command 66-day challenge, these are short 3-minute videos. So they're very quick, and they're a good, quick introduction on how to navigate Command.
So back in, when we came back to Keller Williams, I went into the 66-day challenge. I listened to the first 5, and I loaded people into Command to receive the newsletter, right? We also did a download because we have an enormous file, but you have to start with this challenge to get yourself familiar with all the steps. When is the next boot camp?
And so then the other thing is that I've added on here is, so your Google Drive is going to be a big resource for you guys. So I'm just going to click into this so that you can see what I'm talking about. So Command Bootcamp is a very, in-depth, thorough training sessions. There's been two sessions, session 1 and session 2. Session 1, they go a little slower than session 2, but when you click into either of them, you can see that they go through, helping you set up your marketing profile and contacts, opportunity, they go through everything. And when you click into each one, they give you the recording of the class, the actual presentation, and then you need the logos to be setting up your profiles. So Command, this is a great resource. Again, it allows you to go through everything at your own time and your own speed. So we would, depending on what your knowledge level is with Command is a huge tool. We're constantly talking about it. So do yourselves a favor, get yourselves up and running on it, get your database into it, however big that database might be, because Command is what you will use in order to send out your newsletter. So I want it, and then the entire file is called Zoom Class Archive. And again, this is for, this is the regional market center training. And there's a ton of information here, but I'm pointing you to Command Bootcamp, sessions 1 and 2, and you can, for you to use. The other thing that you will have access to in your drive is you have access to, where is it? KWNYC Productivity Team. You guys are all in the Google group for KWNYC Productivity, which is the email, group email, so that when you, everybody that's in the sales coaching program is part of that Google group. But this is just, again, where we put resources, scripts for calls, buyer pre-qualifications, and then more specifically, which I think you guys should take a look at sooner rather than later, is we developed a buyer's guide for all of our for everybody in the program. And we have, and you can set this up for with your personal branding. So right now, if you look at it, this is the buyer's guide. We just set it up with the productivity team. And when you go to the bottom, it's got our contact information on it. What we want you guys to do is to brand it for yourselves, meaning the buyer's guide is not for you to advertise Janet and Susan. It's for you to have something that you can share with your potential clients to help them understand the purchasing process in New York. So change out however you choose to update it. We give it to you in PDF and in PowerPoint. And a lot of agents also use Canva to update, to make changes to documents. But given the market that we're in, we're concentrating on buyers. So this is another a resource for you. And everybody in the program sent this out 2 weeks ago. We're gonna send it out again in our next newsletter. And I would think you guys probably would do that too, given that you haven't sent yours out either. The other thing that we have coming up is, and again, you guys should all have access to this, because let me just make sure that I'm not over speaking. Yeah, so anybody who's in the sales coaching program has access to this. Again, you'll see it in the content for the newsletter. We're holding a webinar on September 30th. These are the webinar assets. And again, here are instructions and links, but everybody in the program will be sending out invitations to their database with your branding. And it's going to be a panel discussion where we talk to a real estate banker and a real estate attorney on the current state of the market and what buyers need to know. So it's another opportunity to interact with your database, let them know that you are in the business, offer them a resource and something of value, so that they can register for it, and it will give you a basis to start a conversation with them. Because ultimately in real estate, the goal is for everybody to know that you're there, that you're a real estate agent, that you're there to advise them, and you are there to help them with whatever real estate transactions they are looking that they are considering.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that Susan just took you through. Okay, I think it's important to break it down for you. We have a MAPS coach that is in Gary Keller's inner circle, and we do a lot of talking about how to get people started into production. We're 60 days in now, so rinse and repeat happens a lot at Keller Williams. That's why they have Ignite several times a year. They have Bold several times a year. These practices are not hear them once and go off and running. What you have now are custom coaches to help you navigate through all of this material. The assets that Susan's showing you, we created. So they're only available to this program. The webinar is for people in the program. Please do not release that link to anybody. The buyer's guide is only for the program. The seller's guide is coming out probably shortly. But these are things that allow you to give content to your database. You don't have to go and sit for hours trying to create it. We already did it. And it's what slowed us down in the beginning because none of this stuff was available. Buying pre-COVID is different than buying post-COVID. That's why we're having a webinar. If you invite your people to the webinar, people are going to call you afterward and say, hey, thanks for that. There's a couple of things I need clarification on. You're the advisor inviting your database. So I'm going to say it a lot. You have to be in front of people in order to look real to them if you want to be their advisor. There is script practice. Now, there are 4 people that joined the group. You guys need to discuss amongst yourselves. You got to pick a script partner. Everybody in the group has a script partner that they practice with. What do you say and how do you say it? The phone rings after you've called somebody and they're like, hey, listen, I'm looking at this apartment over on the east side. I need some feedback. What do you say and how do you say it? So, you know, the group, it's important to note the program, people, you know, 60 days in, there are people that have done all that we're doing and continue to do it. They're in production now. They have listings. They're working on buyers. They've got things in contract. That's what we want for you. But everybody has to start at saying, how do I get an appointment? And when you have your first one-on-one with me, we're going to talk about the lead generation model, how many contacts you need to make to get an appointment, how many appointments you need to get, how many leads you need to have to get an appointment. It's all about getting appointments. So let's say you get 10 appointments, but you don't bring a buyer or you don't bring a seller. That's the way that's like a red flag. It's like, whoa, you had 10 appointments and nothing came of them? Something's wrong. So we don't let you get that far down the road and let that happen. So if you're thinking about how do I get started, it's with your own database and you need to start talking to people about business as an advisor, and the appointments will come, but you've got to be patient. And it's all, you know, I know who time blocks and who doesn't. I can tell by the conversations. So in order to really, you know, move through this, the phone calls have to happen. I use myself as an example because when I joined the business, I got Rookie of the Year I joined the business with Corcoran. I got Rookie of the Year my first year. I worked people's open houses. I walked around and talked to doormen. And I was a cold caller. Those were the things that really got me going. You can still walk around and talk to doormen, and you can still call your database. But you've got to look through that MREA book. There's 3 pages of lead generation ideas. What works for me might not work for you. What works for Susan might not work for you. Susan hated cold calling. I didn't love it, but I was good at it because I practiced my scripts with my script partner every day. So I'm trying to chunk it down for you, but I want to stop here and throw it up to hear if you have any questions.
Yeah, just so you guys know, these calls are meant to be interactive. It's not our goal to, just to be talking to you all, for an hour. We want this also to be a forum for you to ask questions, give us an idea of where you can use, what areas you can use help on. Just know that if you're having an issue or concerns or you're worried about anything, you're probably not the only one. And we, our goal here is to function as a team and to be a resource for everyone.
How do you get rid of that?
Go ahead, Stan.
May I? Well, first of all, I did go through the boot camp actually before I even signed on, so I'm kind of wading into command and starting to set up my database. I need help with my bio. If
Okay.
someone could critique my bio, that would be helpful. I just really have a rough sketch in there, so that's something that I could use some support with. And just to give you a little background on myself, I'm starting from absolute scratch. I've never worked in real estate. My background is in technical sales. I was a technical sales consultant for many years in the printing industry. So I'm going through my database and finding out it's not very healthy. So I could probably use some help with that at some point. But right now, I'm just trying to get as many things in as I can, and then I'll go back over it and try and firm it up, get some more information in there.
Yeah, so again, what happens with the bio is there are professional bio writers out there,
Okay.
because what happens is they interview you,
Okay.
and I'm not a bio writer, right?
Right.
So they interview you, and they then give you back in an organized and professional fashion your your life, your resume. And that's exactly what most people do, and they talk about you in the third person.
Right. So what we'll do is I'll just catch up. I think the woman that we used to use as a bio writer has retired, but we will, let me catch up with Marion. I'm sure that she's got a couple of suggestions, and we'll get those names and circulate those to everyone.
Okay. I've looked through a bunch of bios on the site from different agents,
Right.
so I have a sense of it. But would you say most of them hired a bio writer, or some of them did their own thing? I noticed some of them are just generic.
Well, there's no way of us knowing that, but the best way to go is a bio writer.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
And
So the other thing is I already started to set up my website just with my personal information and some custom photos. And it told me that it would go live on October 1st. Does it not go live right away? Like, I have the link in my email tag.
right.
Is that something that is the way it usually works?
So this is through command.
Well, so yeah. So I set up my web page. And if these are questions that are really not within the scope of this call, feel free to, I can research them elsewhere, or you can.
Yeah, we always start the call that is the first call for new people. This is the way it will be. But come, we have Mega Camp this week. So the next call for this group is going to be next Monday, because this group speaks on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 10 to 11.
Okay.
So Mega Camp is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But starting next Monday, we're going to go right back to, talking about, the business and making it more interactive with what people are going through. Because that's the way we determine, who in the group is time blocking? Where is the time blocking lacking? And it, the number of appointments is the indicator.
Yeah, and just know that your contacts in command, like that's a living, breathing, basically
Yeah.
document, right?
Yep.
We could all individually have more information on our contacts. The key thing is to get as many email addresses in there as possible, so that when you're sending out your newsletter, it can go to as many people as as broad a sphere as you've got. And
Yeah.
then you can always follow up with phone numbers and addresses later. But it's a, don't.
Actually, my issue is the opposite. I'm finding that most of the way I contacted people was through cell phone, either
Right.
through text or direct calling. And a lot of them I don't even do email, so I don't have a lot of email. Or I should say, maybe 25% of the people that I put in my database so far, I don't even have an email address from. So I suppose.
That's how
Yep.
you create your first call list. So when you send out a newsletter,
Mhm.
MailChimp is the back office for
Yep.
the analytics come to you and it says, wow, check out, you had a 40% open rate. You start creating your call list from the people that opened your newsletter. So for the 4 new people, this will become clearer to you when you have your first one-on-one with me. But that first one-on-one comes after you've done and sent me your GPS and your 411 and have done all the things on the list that need to get done for us to talk about.
Do you guys all have your headshots?
That was another question I had to. They sent us out an email
Yes.
that we who wanted one, and we, I'm sure those of us who didn't have one said yes, I would like one, and that's the last I heard of it.
Okay.
So I'm using
I
an
just-
actual old headshot I have.
Yeah, Marion just sent around another email. I guess she's setting it up for next week. So
Okay.
yeah, again, look, this will get done. Just wanted to make sure that you guys are seeing Marion Richardson's emails, because they
Mhm.
are, an important source of information. And yeah, the fact there's a photographer coming in to take care of headshots. So sign up if you need one.
Oh, so that would be at the office?
Yeah.
Okay. 99 Park?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess, and so do you guys know, it's not happening this week because you're not going to the office this week, right?
No, because of Megan.
Mega Camp is this week, so Jana's not going to be in the office, but generally she's in the office on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have an office which is right next to Mark Chin's office,
Okay.
team leader. So feel free to stop by, make an appointment in advance, so that, welcome the opportunity to meet you guys in
Yep.
person.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say that we're not making you come in. People have strong feelings about COVID. I'm there on Tuesday and Thursday. If you'd like to come in, just let me know and we'll carve out some time and hang out together.
Okay.
But again, guys, I want to, we're all about getting you into the business. You've got to get yourselves set up with the headshots. You've got to get your bios in there. We could give you some resources to call, but we don't teach MailChimp. We don't do any of that stuff. This is stuff that's totally teachable. You've got to spend the time to do it. That's why I attached videos and links, because I could recite those links and videos for you. They're still helpful for me today. This program is rinse and repeat. The more you listen to it, the more you'll absorb, and the more you'll help yourself build your database.
Any other questions that we can answer?
I did have a question. Well, one, I do have my profile picture. It's actually what you see when I'm on mute. So I know I look a lot different. My hair is a lot different. Yeah, so that's a whole nother hair thing. But for command, I tried to use an Excel spreadsheet that I created like 2 years ago when I started to put it into command, and it didn't accept it. So I kind of tried to move like some of the cells to like, maybe it didn't, that was why, because you couldn't see all the information. And then it said, oh, we can't accept the same one. So no, I
went through the same thing.
So I'm worried that means I'm going to end up having to input each of them one by one, which is obviously sounds like a very daunting task. Or should I try, I guess I could start a new Excel spreadsheet and call it something else and then try to re-input that. I'm not, when it comes to Excel, I'm not the best.
Yeah.
So that was my number one concern, is because I know before we started the class today, technically I wanted to get that in there. So I had an issue with that. And then my other question is with MailChimp, when I've sent out newsletters before, and I get responses like from friends, like, oh, it looks great. Oh, that's nice, But I definitely want to be more professional. I love that you guys are helping us create that and send that out, or well, making it essentially and letting us send it out. I think that my email was different somehow. Like it said, like my email for KW is bgrice@KW. I think it ended up being bgrice3@KW. So, but I don't know. I'm worried. I'm thinking that I will start a new MailChimp account because the old newsletters weren't necessarily effective anyway, but maybe I could kind of pull the email addresses out of that into a new account. I don't know. It's when it comes to the tech part, I'm feeling a little like, if I get stuck, I don't know, where to go. So, if I seem behind, that's why.
Okay,
So.
look, no worries. So a couple of resources for you. If you're having trouble with the Excel upload, download, go into Command Bootcamp and listen to the contact section again, because there's a specific format that you have to use. That you have to download out of Command and then put your contacts into that format so that it will upload. But then the other resource you have in the Marian Richardson's emails, there's a Scott Leroy introduction. Scott Leroy is a firm that will help you. The Market Center has a relationship with Scott Leroy, and Scott Leroy will help you with the uploads of your database.
Oh, okay.
So go ahead and listen to the introduction that's in here, and Scott, and feel free to use them as a resource to help you get everything into Command. Sometimes what you have to do with Command, if there's been a couple false starts, you have to basically wipe out everything in Command and start fresh, because it sees emails more than once. But Scott Leroy is a great resource to help anybody of you on the phone with that upload process.
And guys, you see, Marian Richardson sent out an email at 8:01 last night.
Yeah, she sends them out every day.
This is loads of information.
Yeah.
No,
I love her emails.
Ellen got a lot of resources. So, like one of the things, where is that?
What's happening this one?
Yeah. So look at under, like Susan just told you guys about Scott Leroy, right? Right underneath it says how Gene Rivers got through the last shift. I listen to that stuff all the time. You've got to listen to podcasts. You've got to seek out. This is not in your time block. This is outside of your time block.
Yeah.
So if you're not covering clients, then that's what you do. So the whole thing with the 80-20 rule is 20% of your actions deliver 80% of your results. So the 80% of what you need to learn, that's on your time. And that, this is where it all flows into accountability. People that do this stuff, it shows up in appointments. And we're here to help you do that. But the work is really, you've got to get into your databases. We teach database, just to be clear. That's what our role is, because that is the gold, as Gary says in the Red Book. The database is the gold. So Bonnie's been with us. Bonnie, I'm going to give you a shout out here. Bonnie has been with us since the launch in July. So Bonnie, you're hearing things that you've heard before. Is it helpful?
Yes, it's helpful. It's good reinforcement. It's really a habit. It's like, how do you build it in your system, built in your schedule, and becomes part of you?
So you're on this call today, hearing things that you've heard before, right? You heard it for the August class. Now you're hearing it for the September class, but you're still on the call. So that's what you call showing up, right? There's a bunch of people not on this call right now. So this is what we watch for. It's important. I showed up every day for whoever was there to lend me a hand. And we're here to help you guys. I'm very serious about this. Right?
Oh.
Hey, Alejandro, what about you? Alejandro. I think Alejandro went to take a shower.
What, Lamar?
Hey, Lamar, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Lamar joined the class in August. Is this helping you hear it again?
Huh? I'm sorry, I'm on my phone right now at the moment. My apologies. I could be. What was the question?
You joined the class in August.
Yes.
You're hearing some of the same things again, but is reinforcement helping you?
Oh, that newsletter, the lead that I got, every single word that you told me to repeat when I got on the phone with the client, it just worked. And I believe it 1,000,000%. So.
Well, so guys, listen, these are people that are committed to making their business grow. And when you become cappers, you're going to look at us. It's going to be a whole different game, and you're going to love it.
Just one more thing. We've been throwing around during this phone call Mega Camp, just in case you guys aren't familiar with what Mega Camp is. It is one of the big Keller Williams training opportunities. You'll, again, I think it's in Marion's email as well, it's actually not in here. I will send you around the Mega, there's a couple of things that I'm gonna send around after this phone call. I'm gonna send you the actual links to the Google Drives that I mentioned earlier in the call. And I'll also send you the link to sign up for Mega Camp, just so that you have a chance to take a look at that. And if you choose to sign up or not, I think it costs something like $120.
Bonnie, what does it cost?
Yes, current price is $149. It was $119, but that deadline was over, so now it's $149. and they're still accepting tickets. And once you get a ticket, today, Erin Wheelock, the Culture Club, is doing a little get together at the office. They office sponsor tacos. It's kind of cool.
And there you go.
All right, so I'll send that link around as well for anybody who wants to sign up for that.
We love Mega Camp. We've been 5 times. So again, rinse and repeat. Gary Keller is going to be talking to us tomorrow in tomorrow's sessions. So we encourage you to jump on, get a ticket, and be part of it.
All right.
It's
I have a quick question. I'm looking at emails and from Terry Patterson, it's like updated invitation for the program, daily call, 10 a.m. weekly, but then it has 2 after it that say canceled. So I just want to make sure I know the days and times for these calls.
yeah, Terry Patterson's in a different group. So
Okay.
your calls are Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 10 to 11.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Thank you.
but there will be no call on the 19th and, sorry,
Because of Mega Camp, this is our only call this week.
right,
Okay.
And then
Okay.
we'll be back on the phone on Monday.
right.
Okay.
We talk to you guys again next time on the 21st of September. But we are,
If you hit any glitches, just send me a text.
so
Okay.
we are available either via email or text. Email is is coaching@kw.com. It's the email that you have received from us already with the data attached. And then we're also available by text, and our phone numbers are on the website.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Welcome to the program.
All right, these calls are all
I
recorded.
give,
I sent you the link for the productivity playlist. So are there. We're excited to have you in the program, and it's good to see Bonnie, Lamar, and Alejandro. And have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys. Have a good week.